Welcome kids to ODC Church Online. We have an exciting time ahead. Songs with Mr. D, Bible study. This week we're looking at Gideon in the Bible. Then there'll be crafts, games. Have fun, kids!
Hello everyone, we're going to warm ourselves up with another song, It's a song we've done before, it's a song that we know. It's Our God is a Great Big God. And remember what we did last time. At the end of each line of Our God is a Great Big God, we're going to shout, Oi! Oi! Great big God. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi! Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hand. Say that again. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi! Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi! Our God is God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper, and He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe, and beyond my wildest dreams. Oh, sorry, I forgot about Mr. D. Sorry. We've got Mr. D along again to help us out with the actions. Okay, so lots of actions to the song. He knows them. I don't need to tell you. Just follow him. Okay, let's start again. Let's sing Our God is a Great Big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God that holds us in His hand. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper, and He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe, and beyond my wildest dreams. And He's known me and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing plan. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God, and He holds us in His hands. He's higher than a skyscraper, and He's deeper than a submarine. He's wider than the universe, and beyond my wildest dreams. And He's known me and He's loved me since before the world began. How wonderful to be a part of God's amazing plan. Our God is a great big God. Our God is a great big God. Oi, oi. Our God is a great big God. Holds us in His hand. Thank you, Mr. D. Sorry again. Right, we'll be back later on to sing us another song. Right now, I'm going to hand over for a game.
Welcome kids to Open Door Church Kids Church game. This week we are doing apple bobbing to see who can get 5 apples out with only the use of their mouth, their hands behind their back. The first one to get all 5 out is the winner, and the one that doesn't do it is the loser and gets cream pie in the face. So let's see who wins this week, kids. I know it's going to be me. Here you go. Wins.
I'm ready, I'm prepared.
Right, no cheating. No cheating this time.
I have spent
Your
many
hands
years
behind your
popping
back.
apples in the wild
Hands
forest.
behind your back.
I'm a popping mad.
Are you ready, kids? 3, 2, 1, go! I am the winner! Yes! Yes! Okay.
I don't have the teeth for it.
Yeah, I have all my own teeth and several of other people's. Okay, so kids, what do we do? With the person leaders? Yeah, we do. Stick a pie in the face. Stick a pie in the face. Are you ready, Wayne?
Yes.
Stick a pie in the pie face.
Me
You
that
are
always
the
gets
loser.
pied though. The amount of times I've been pied in the face. Losing
Lucy,
kids club.
Lucy, Brucey, Lucy, Brucey,
Losing
loser.
Charlie this time.
3, 2, 1, bottom out! Pie in the face, thank you. We are Open Door Church. This is Kids Club. Kids Judge. That's the game. Goodbye.
Yum, Beba.
I like it. I like the
Peppa,
cream.
yum.
I like the cream. Oh, yummy, yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Good morning. Today we're going to be looking at a story about a man called Gideon. This takes place after Israel has had some wars and some battles with other people groups, and they're still not listening to what God is asking them to do. So we pick up there and we'll see what happens. Since Israel had not driven out their enemies, God allowed those enemies to conquer them. But when Israel cried for help, God delivered them. Sadly, they did not learn their lesson. Again and again Israel turned away from the Lord to serve false gods. There came a time when the Lord allowed the Midianites to overpower Israel because of their sin. The Midianites ruled them for 7 years, and the people were so afraid of them that they made caves in the mountains to live. Each year, just when the people of Israel were ready to harvest their crops, the Midianites attacked and stole their crops and raided their land, leaving little food for the people of Israel to eat. So the people cried out to the Lord for help again. Once again, God heard their cry for help and appeared to a man named Gideon. He was hiding from the Midianites because he was afraid. The Lord called out to Gideon and said he would be the one to save Israel from their enemies. Gideon thought the Lord should find someone else. How can I save Israel? He asked. My clan is the weakest clan, and I am the weakest in my family. But the Lord said to Gideon, I will be there with you, and you will strike down the Midianites. This was hard for Gideon to imagine. He asked the Lord to show him a sign to help him believe that what God said was true. The Lord agreed, and Gideon went to prepare a meal for him. When he returned, the Lord told him to set the food on a rock and pour some broth over it. Fire sprang up out of the rock and consumed the food, and the Lord disappeared. Then Gideon knew he had seen the Lord face to face. The Lord told Gideon to destroy the idols his father had in their home. Gideon broke down his father's altar to Baal and cut down his wooden Asherah pole. But because Gideon was afraid, he waited until night to do it. Then he built an altar to the Lord on top of broken idols. He sacrificed a bull to the Lord and burned it up with the wood from the Asherah pole. When everyone woke up and saw that what Gideon had done, they wanted to kill him. But Gideon's father stopped them. "If Baal is a real god," he said, "let Baal punish Gideon." But of course, Baal was a false god, so nothing happened to Gideon. In spite of Israel's sinful ways, God gave them Gideon to save them from their enemies. Israel did not deserve to be rescued. God did it because he loved them. And that is the same reason God sent Jesus to save us, even though we are sinners who disobey God, just like Israel did.
Well, I hope you've been enjoying Kids Club today. That was a great story, wasn't it, about Gideon and how God was able to use him. Do you remember he says in the story, Gideon thought that he was from the weakest family around and that he was the weakest one in his family, and yet God still chose him and said he could still use him. And that's what God's promises are like to us, that even though we don't feel very strong or very able, God can still use us as well. So I thought for a craft today we would perhaps make something which would remind us of just what God can do for us and what he promises for us. So what I'm going to suggest we do is make a promise box. And this is one that I've made earlier. Now you can use whatever you like, but I've used a shoe box today and I've covered it in birthday paper and hidden secret in here. And I put on the word on the top, promises. Now you could do it, you could colour it in or paint it, you could put stickers on it of different kinds, but just with the word promises, because this is going to be your promise box. And the promise from today seemed to be one that I chose, which was for Gideon, that God chose what is weak to shame the strong. Though Gideon was very weak, he was able to take down the strong people, the Midianites, because God was with him. And that's what God promises us as well, that even when we feel weak and unable, that he's able to do things through us. So I thought that would be a really good promise. Once you've made your promise box, you can write out the promise, either do it by hand or print it off or get someone else to do it for you. And then you keep it in your promise box here, which you can keep somewhere useful, by your bed or somewhere like that. And then whenever you're feeling a bit down or things are a bit difficult in life, you can get your promise box out and see what promises there are in there. Now, today, we've just got the one promise, that God can choose you and use you even when you're weak. But over the weeks, hopefully, when we do this in following kids' churches, we'll come up with different promises, and each time you get your promise box and keep it in there. And then when life gets a bit difficult, because life is difficult at the moment sometimes, you can get your promise box out and find out what God promised for you, that he can do for you. So I hope you enjoy making it. And say you can use anything. You can use a shoe box like I've used, you could use a card index box, whatever you've got to hand. And just remember to put the word promises on there to keep a record of what God's promised to you. So I hope you enjoy doing that. Thank you.
So, we're going to do some marching as well. Shout, who's got their armour on? Who's got their armour on? We've got our armour on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Who's got their armour on? We've got our armour on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Okay, we're going to do it again. Who's got their armour on? Who's got their armour on? We've got our armour on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Who's got their armour on? We've got our armour on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. we're going to sing about the pieces of the armour. So we're going to do that again, and we're going to sing about the shield of faith, and so on. Okay? Follow along. The shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the Spirit, the belt of truth, the helmet of salvation, then tie my shoes with the readiness to share the good news. Nice. Looking good. Nice, let's start again. Who's got their armor on? We've got our armor on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Who's got their armor on? We've got our armor on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Piece by piece we'll put it on. Shield of faith, breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the Spirit, the belt of truth, the helmet of salvation, and tie my shoes with the readiness to share the good news. The shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the Spirit, the belt of truth, the helmet of salvation, and tie my shoes with the readiness to share the good news. Nice. Gonna learn to march now, okay? Just Steve's gonna show us how. Okay, so we're gonna go left foot first. Left foot first. Put your left foot first. Left foot first. Put your left foot first. Then your right foot next. Put your right foot next. Then your right foot next. Put your right foot next. Put your left foot first. 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 Put your right foot next. Put your right foot next. Put your right foot next. Now put your right, left, right, left, right. Left, right, 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 left, right. The shield of faith, breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the Spirit, the belt of truth, the helmet of salvation, and tie my shoes with the readiness to share the good news. Woo! Woo! We'll finish it there. Some really good marching. I'm sure we'll just sing it again another time.
Yay! I hope you enjoyed our children's work. Remember, kids, God has called you to live for Him with your friends and family and school. So, shine for Jesus wherever you are. See you next week. Yay!